Hey, now this is drastically started after at White House personally, so U.S. is on track to increase total assistance after the 8% bill of uncannibal assistance to aid. The Bush is first from the U.S. more than double the element assistance after, but 0 and the bill ensures the U.S. needs to commitment to U.S. is clear to our food assistance, and the U.S. are also just increased age 9 to further counter-terrorism goals. Tom says to fix 7. The U.S. has recently increased its engagement in the range of further narrow but important counter-terrorism goals after just state aid and admitted when it's conflict. The current aid doesn't benefit the poor population, so it's sparked a backlash to stabilize the region. Home and Justice Administration requested $8.5 million for bill $908, including that $50 million in food assistance programs to add possible communities are fatally flawed. Assistance is doing little to arrest the cops for livelihood or help the government fight for men out alternative mainstream insurrection programs to actually fueling rebellion in northern Niger. The cops' traditional livelihoods exacerbated by this kind of development program has created frustrated and increasing militarized young men, and improving the livelihood of poor should be its number one security concern. Failure to appease them will cause massive instability in Niger. Competition to 7. The principal source of instability in Niger is deteriorating livelihoods and unresolved fate of the poor. The question for U.S. policymakers is how well is the current system formula addressing the root cause of instability in Niger, intensified conflict with the poor in the Nigerian government. The most significant threat to instability in Niger. How can U.S. assistance package in a way to so it's cheap security and development and instability in Niger and potential to quickly draw on other players and ignite a full blown regional conflagration. Thomas did 6-7 in Niger and the foreign and southern based government consists of is sadly negative. The Tuareg rebels tell me that they will continue to launch attacks. The government is not moving negotiations for crisis. It's fast becoming regionalized advance ruling is towards the MNJ. Tuareg and Niger and Mali formed an alliance that would bring a full blown regional conflagration that could emerge successfully the regional war involving Sudan, Chad, and Central African Republic must be an urgent international priority. And the impact is global nuclear war. Africa's most likely region for great power proxy wars. Just show you a nuclear war must likely start in Africa outside parts more easily find that African American effect development are in African nuclear strike can ignite a much broader conflagration. And the only way to prevent civil war is to more equitably distribute land resources to Tuaregs. Had to keep 7. The violence may be playing up in dangerous coming to the start of state-driven ethnic conflicts with Tuaregs becoming increasingly dissatisfied with the central government's development policies. Competition for land is spreading to make the underlying ethnic conflict more intense. The underlying grievances over land are resolved. The situation now returns to ethnic civil war with the fighting made more intense so that can be cumulative hostility. The entire Sahel region is a danger zone, and eliminating the danger will require equitable distribution of resources the only long-term solution. And the U.S. should increase foreign assistance in addressing the Tuareg livelihood because of its regional presence. The U.S. is in a unique position to broker peace. John 10-6-7. The security situation in Niger will only prove the national government to commit to negotiations and reaching agreement. Is not with the assistance international done address the cost of pastoral livelihood. The U.S. government is in a position to play an important role in running lasting security in Niger. The chief of the Niger Western equation to address the cost of pastoral livelihoods. And the Sahel's vote is significant U.S. resources aimed at sustaining pastoralist livelihoods. And it includes terrorism. The U.S. is currently in existence, but it's only named the Tuareg population causing anti-Americanism. Only by sending aid that helps the Tuaregs going to reverse this trend. Confidence in 7 is in northern Niger stems to the failure of national government to address Tuareg grievances rather than helping the Nigerian government improve U.S. assistance. Is currently campaign does just the opposite. U.S. government presence under TSC can lead to an increase in anti-American in the region as power Tuaregs should not be one of the most vulnerable groups benefit from the U.S. system. Most experts agree they do not. The initiatives like those that are part of the TCSPTV threaten the Tuareg driving to livelihood and terrorists in Niger potentially and casualties. Air Force are magazine for Africans more than not magazine for terrorists. There is any friend in America's Cold War and terrorists across the Sahara. Let's check the terrorist infiltration towards African law and terror arms murder outrageous. The impoverished region to succeed Afghanistan as the world's #1 haven for fanatic Islamic militant. Such areas are the most popular and prioritized. The world terrorist breeding ground. The rebels open negotiation with Niger troubles come from government areas and terrorists taking advantage of Niger. The attack could be imminent. Air for impoverished settlements live in the Sahel region, but after unless the joint forces of the international terrorist group has released, but it's full of money. Allocated United terrorist ships to the southern bridge to the Sahara group who will Al Qaeda. If they come to the Sahel region, they get support at the local level, having places where they can go to start by weak governments where they plan their attack which could be anywhere in one Sahel base group, which is causing Washington particular concern is GSP has been detected in Niger and caused extinction Alexander agree. The implication of terrorist acts is very civil itself is to integrate terrorist events to introduce a new scale of violence. We mentioned terrorist violence from chemical, radiological, nuclear, cyber with implications concerning global security, security. There is no surprise and U.S. retaliation independently make all their actions national cause extinction for 5 become nation for now. It's also from the nation demand an U.S. president retaliate for the attack president and multiple citizens accept they're attacked by the Islamic terrorists. The first call to launch nuclear second mechanism for a whole religion Islam. Nothing could emerge attack ever work from the U.S. and Islam. Would be upon us. We'd take the immediate direction to form of the reunion. Kremlin would be so this is not to be graphic agreement. It's like the Russians, the support American cities to be prepared in China. Our new communist enemies might get carefully retaliate. The events like calculated initiative nuclear blow in the U.S. growth rate tech activities more recklessly. The president decided to launch the limited negotiation in Iran would add more nuclear devastation to the war calculation. With the president not to retaliate, maybe not acceptable American people told the party power time would be destroyed unless the president retaliated with a nuclear strike. And USA Tuaregs is crucial to counter terrorist efforts to building the custom nomadic lifestyle. It provides them unique information for the war terrorism. Thomas Jensen 6-7. This decision should be focused on addressing top Tuareg livelihood. The Tuareg will command the strong factor for equilibrium as nomadic members come down to see throughout the terrorist Tuareg to provide valuable intelligence movement of people and goods. They demonstrate the value in the past U.S. policy to aim at partnership with Tuareg through stability tries to keep Tuareg so great and range to open and secure and increase cooperation between relations Tuareg usually with counter-terrorist efforts no amount of technology to replace their indigenous knowledge, low news aid from Niger foreign to North African terrorist attacks. They should not allow that as well as satellites and kind of first local knowledge to no one to describe in the desert. So the desert natives will have to deal with terrorist information outside of authorities involved no leaders that will gain the trust as long as partnerships only between the U.S. says healthcare and government through the desert climate will continue to get worse. Desert tribal complete security, pastoral nomads are pushed further, and elicit accurate activities for survival, and managing for protection against moments is crucial to its acceptance for strategic force and acceptance towards the cooperation becomes critical in order to prevent such instances from escalating to a larger conflict with the U.S. and advantage three is desertification. The number one cause of desertification is clearing up the greenhouse that would make safe for agriculture. Eating Foundation 94 and Stealth Blasting and burning natural drought push funding order to land for agriculture to make cause before this instruction. 25,000 hectares are being lost to turn through desertification. They continue this practice, reach will the greenhouse that industrial events are within the agricultural zone, leading to desert encroachment and desertification from conservation for biodiversity, which are 96. The results of desertification have including to economic crop yields for long periods of drought and that lead to starvation where agriculture fails to come through direct food security, agro-deforestation, biodiversity preservation, and the Islands of Africa. This respect more than 75% of the people on the African continent, among these mistakes. Africa may be just 25% of the population by 2025, so desertification of the continent. It means that first phase bad policies to blame for aggravating desertification, and this makes war inevitable. Food shortages are people caused by international violence. Jimmy Carter's 2009 months of the wars are for the poverty not being eligible for poverty is part of always has peace, raise, resist, and living, thriving agriculture, paying for prosperity, peace. The sub-Saharan African suffers food this year, food shortages, worth more than probably not improved there. We know people have enough to eat, and impact is extinction, for instance, 94. Nothing incorporates belongs to all the human species, the availability for soil to maintain and plant animal production. The soil is combined with erosion. These depredations are clearly not sustainable, and biodiversity loss is the health cause extinction. Dark with trees, the flora in West Africa's health and natural diversity species known to be high hormonal enhanced by the degradation of soil vegetation, biodiversity, diversification of life and earth, genetic varieties are diminished options of close activities that are essential for human survival, and nitrogen and diversification techniques with its neighbors countries all over Africa model plan Winslow and Shapiro 4. The benefits of innovation flow over into Tiger and empowerment limitations to value farmers sharing ideas with their natives have done on the degraded land, the practice continues to spread, and U.S. land management policies are modeled by countries all over the world. But also, the U.S. land management provides model countries, particularly developing countries, fall on the designing the national weather policy and the technical expertise and anti-war regulation, fuel desertification. Those countries lack its capacity to develop effective land management policy. Hardy United States to cause desertification. Local authority structures once responsible for regulating the use of natural resources or eroding state apparatus. This not as an alternative capacity takes place for traditional management systems, lack of regulation of the use of natural resources leads to further overuse. And measures are not successful now because lack of funding commitment, only increased support for government regulation, length, desertification, spread to Darko 93. The drought house in Africa cannot be overcome by emergency in the long range. It starts with the public efforts to demand within the better desertification of the natural lack of funding, lack of financial resources from external donors about the great countries, Africa lacks adequate national legislation, stop the human induced causes of problems, national strategy for combating desertification, national development plans, and improve regulation for essential to land conservation strategies. These will prevent desertification directly benefit possibilities like the forest actually plan. The United States Federal Government should provide resources to nitrogen implement regulation that prevents desertification and authentic that guard. Past rules steadily using leads margin of maneuver regulations are being lost in alarming rate ways and means of promoting know-how and technology transfer for desertification for the capacity building the urgently required African plus improvement in impact led to firmer advantage must be taken loss of regulations can lead to natural resources support to mobile class systems dryland should receive a higher level of priority given past rules specific adaptive management practices and traditional loss of coping strategies and dryland conditions past rules sustainable use of dryland should be kept under review and the excels natural green belts halls have even been found to more nitrogen house zone to the north of well-vegetated natural green belt that predict farmers from stereo vegetation products environment that little erosion occurs so the natural green belt extended across the Carroll 2s could easily destroy the stuff.
First question, your evidence indicates that you give resources to Niger. What are the resources you give?
Well, we actually help him protect the dryland, so it's like technical assistance, things like that. Well, first of all, our plan text doesn't specify the type of support, so counter plans that would pick out any issue.
We're not running a pig, I'm just wondering.
Okay, yeah, and so I'm telling you that it's not a mandate of our plan, but the effect of our plan would be, technical support.
I'm wondering what resources you give, what sort of technical support?
What do you mean, what sort of resources?
Like what sort of technical support?
Like, for example, U.S. agencies would collaborate for best practices of preserving dryland. Like, for example, training African officials.
Okay, let's talk about your internal community coverage, which indicates that U.S. Policy is necessary to land, is necessary to cause a global spillover. That's talking about wetlands. Is Niger a wetlands region?
No, well, our argument is that, the evidence is, that one part is specific to wetlands, but our argument is that the same warrant applies, that U.S. land management practices.
That one part is your only internal link. Is Niger wetlands?
That's our only modeling argument, but yeah, our argument is that land management practices are modeled.
Okay, interesting. Let's talk about food shortages. This Jimmy Carter evidence assumes things like global food shortages. How do you access food shortages in places like China, like Latin America?
Well, even if our impact was just contained to sub-Saharan Africa, our argument is that poverty and hunger will increasingly become the motive for war, and that political considerations will be less important in the decision to go to war in the future.
Yeah, let's talk about your war. What is the justification, or what is the credentials of Jeffrey Deutsch?
Well, he's the founder of the Rabbit Tiger Project. His PhD.
Are you aware that he's the
does
only
research in Africa.
person in the Rabbit Tiger Project?
I mean, he does research on Africa.
He does research on Africa. Are you also aware that he closed down the Rabbit Tiger Project because he's just totally bankrupt?
I mean,
all right. What are the warrants in this card? Why would we do the conflict?
Because Africa, conflict in Africa provides ample opportunity for proxy war between great powers.
Well, actually, let's talk about this card. In the part you don't really indicate, South Africa is a major exception. It's talking about how African countries don't have nukes. Not to mention that they probably already has the bomb. Does South Africa have nuclear weapons?
I mean, they
signed a nuclear proliferation treaty, which is one of the best in the world. So they don't have nukes.
Okay.
Okay.
Really answer
So
any
how does
argument.
nuclear war start then?
Our argument is that proxy state intervention causes nuclear war because nuclear powers will intervene.
Give me a scenario as to why the US would launch nukes on crucial areas like Nigeria where we get oil from.
Why the U.S.
It's not Nigeria.
Well, that's a proxy war, right? Or
our argument is about Niger. First of all, our conflict scenario is about Niger, and second of all, our
which
argument
is not
isn't-
about Niger.
I mean, but our link to it is.
Right. I'm asking if there are no nukes would get involved. How does
Well,
it
no,
get
our
nuclear?
argument is about proxy war that nuclear powers will intervene, and they have nuclear weapons.
Broken when you talk about the
Or that's
Yeah. Can it fix?
do you have the
You took the 1AC, so I'm guessing you have it.
Is anybody not ready?
you have a good time?
Everybody ready? Interpretation of public health, government prevention, infectious disease, so I can take spectrum through drip therapy, O2, lack of understanding drip therapy, disease, the next week, prevention, infectious disease, society, including that, prevent disease, infectious disease, modern public health, regulations, regulation, the affirmative doesn't prevent treatment disease, CEO, voting, will limit the topic, teaching, expansive notion, public health, means anything in the United States, has reduced that Africa, topic, multiply, the fine, warning, effects, the only way to negative days, to have 5 chances, limited for damage, stable, play, mechanism, create good, gender, guarantee, resolution, field, context, or definition, most predictable, cause, from the federal government, education, use, voting, issue, their interpretation, of social funds, plug into research, arbitration, of this moment, run the Spain, next office, single country's interpretation, multiple nations, most of the universal, entitled, limits, community, must have access conscious, ultimately this is universal prediction of president access by the entire community and the community designated by the resolutions of certain Africa. This refers to single socioeconomic region or identified economic refer to single socioeconomic region to be violation of the affirmative, specifically targets actually not the entire population, conflict versus the right system, all members of certain Africa subordinate one limit reason affirmative service, single country combination, country they just by setting into specific cities and policy subordinating and cross-line potential use of voting issue next off is the K and the American relationship to Africa is by being saturated by representation, conflict, disease, affirmative religion, and catastrophe, chaos, policymakers, can help us solidify the humanize and pray for intervention of these images, man walls, 5 with the gravity so they can they become part of our lives, true and crucial change public introduce justification of work, and that should subconsciously dissolution of European domination, West police have constructed beyond the American public opinion, foreign policy is deliberate, and systematic of the process revised, used by the media, and the attachment images of African catastrophe, casting into Africa's superman global underclass, define as harbingers of their own ever-present demise. Africans become the objects of a genocidal process of humanization that's grounded in history's most extreme atrocities. Take Corey, 5 degrees of gravity, made to never forces civil investment, and denies that people left the wars crying death and increasing amounts of aid without help, or injured, it's more completely will still being safe through disease, starvation, such simplistic messages foster racist stereotypes, stereotype people their dignity, and encourage prejudice and alternatives to vote negative in order to reject the cycle of pessimistic disaster imaging to Africa. Ogube, the research conflict that's twisted society negotiating the oxygen had Africa that never make a successful transition. This ordinance are reviewed as a prayer for any kind of deliberate appreciation of culture that would interview on realistic spectrum independent of the Africa by their own means to dismiss these discourses signifies every kind of process formulate the privilege discourse and understanding formulate or discourse next off is counterline text. The United States federal government will condition the provision of resources to NITRA to implement regulations that prevent certification on the recipient country's acceptance and monitor attainment of rule of laws necessary to cater to meeting Millennium Challenge goals. It's competitive to kind of plan. Separate meetings to the plan of boards that benefit all its SCA ban offices and applies to its current model of corruption condition, which is enforced cause resistance conditioning on rule of law addressed to the root problem and single laws through methodology on finance scale eligibility condition and the administration for the making the rule of laws consequent to corruption the way around country not enforce laws important mentioned that exception rule laws prerequisite current U.S. budgetary support grants. The United States' enormous leverage to sub-Saharan Africa, linking U.S. assistance with the demand for rule of law to develop African reform diamond. Not the African states will be independent with the leader of legitimacy except the world's true leverage they have the ability to exercise. States are fragile and Africa wants to plan. They have openly expressed concerns about government corruption. No, not concerns about corruption, because concerns about African concerns good thing until Africa's attack reinforcefully. They remain a societal and refocusing conditional aid is top power democracy, social war, terrorism, venture. Force off governments getting terrorists cannot be based on terrorism, take care of the free passage society, or authority, not if energy, you have to, and power, optimize power, both terrorism, 6 terrorism, counts extinction, Korea, the current power supply there, the current power supply there, Alexander for the what is and strengthening democracy, solves extinction, all at war diamond. United States experience danger, weakness, democracy, democratic measures, not going more than 5 response because they expect rule of law, monitoring correctly solves the rule of law, South Africa's acceptance and transition proves England, and I found under principle individuals action, party point, issue, political, political favor within the observers could offer contribution, make observation fail throughout the country was proceeding, and the trouble year, next off, who counterplan text, the World Health Organization, agenda setting structures to create global health standards, prioritizing resource for the implementation of regulations that prevent desertification, and implementing the counterplans key for the WHO catalyzed international health cooperation self-case better boosting its global credibility agenda setting tailored for governments when it's one of the major challenges Wales, Margaret, national acting reargues constitutes by building not only educated governments and governmental organizations, public ability to pay for the role in international health law agenda, they partnership stimulate coordinated African youth for consideration, media management, and development run and participating in the efforts to contribute to the codification effort and to select plans, multilateral guides and foreign assistance, the international community perceives global outreach like the plan of an attempt to boost the U.S. dominant image and dissuade focus from the United States unilateral agenda, only by taking a secondary comply both of the campaign against the United States overcome global backlash, while 2% organizations borders to the United States aligned on the overall 100% foreigners, shares to be alongside allies for the concentration power, the unilateral sentences engaged in strength solely for its own benefit. The United States forces power typical of rally international support for initiatives. Washington wants to proceed. You don't want to do that. No. And next on politics. The CWRA will only pass with bipartisan support. The impact is the collapse of the Wetlands National Intent Tribune for bipartisan consider legislation that should run for CW. The state separate support rules undermine the law, rights breaking by wetlands, protection by the wetlands, have regulated that from the runs back from 10% nation streets. Rules protect the government goes without narrow interpretation. CWRA winner from the bill's original intent to all whether the United States president who had the APA said the law stop confirms that the original law intent this deserves strong bipartisan support and the Bush's position is aid must be conditional plans for BBC News. 5 of the Bush's proposed doubling aid to African leads community out of government. Bush made no indication of compromises. Must engage for route from past recipients of country and flip-flopping crushes. Should I read that, Jane? Flip-flopping crushes with cabinet fist. United States with the president singularly give him an agenda control responsibility influence the maybe make more difficult exercise public duties by to bear. Taking station tactical policy to opposition wide range opponents and numerous contests without alienating and revoking support conditional aid and off plan tax. I attempt Republican leader express over renewed by support aid Republicans that make things the text support aid receive the country express governments that have to accept rule of law and curb corruptions and bipartisanship in other areas. Impacts environmental policy cover and geopolitical atmospheres relevant administrative legislative effort to different smart control of the president Congress and ignore influence in legislative proposals that are considerably at the height of the transforming bipartisan coalition need regardless of environmental policy. Enforcing wetlands protections prevent the spread of pollution, impacts multiple internal links of the economy, oceanic dead zones, collapse in water supplies may find the need for regulation, protect wetlands, certain spinal functions, certain protect environment, this form of pollution control, wetlands filter out large heavy metals, reforms that extend phosphorus further pollution control value wetlands become the equivalent of multi-million-dollar treatment system they uninhabitable pollution with water corresponding negative impact on the economy. Wetlands also provide habitat for millions of smart growers and serve place 7% commercial seafood provide many of the same ecological benefits that states are often willing to provide for wetland protection, especially not judge coastal wetlands is probably exacerbated due to the many wetlands existence that are down from massive water shortage results in nuclear extinction of war in Alaska. Enforce and resist Hawaii and terrorist places trying to find out if the water supply to the water spiritual aspect we are doing in time for damage to plants to capacity to generate water which is far greater consequence or not to this is the future and civility. No great power conflict in Africa, Barrett. Find the West Indies people to get both Africa, steals a little in Africa. No powerful nation wants to get global becomes they can win in Africa's minimal role in relative global conflict. So we're talking since the Somali transmitted Western nation refused troops in Africa, cost Africa must make a marginal role in American foreign policy and African conflict transferring forces destruction. Thompson finds the wars certified that they influence on forces driven by currently logging and reduce environmental destruction, one part extinction. Starts to educate their advance in African rainforest conservation remains. The walk line to survive defense of men making this commercial logging for 40,000 kilometers of African forest making endangered species. There's a extinction issue rejecting change a run after project not even open anymore. He closed up the project means not accessible by the internet. Also, it's apparently not hold or proves terrorism. Terrorists could get equal weapons into the United States security or United States measure they be inconceivably the terrorist managed decided to promote transportation police substruct making go for only small and especially trained circle technicians. Terrorists are not the number capable of making equal weapons walls. That practice work is vulgar secrecy say yet to obtain the very large terrorist man long enough to disband as terrorists make complaints of debates and hard to secure towards compliance. Many terrorists are not in Africa and purple scripture back. 5 of the 4 are united routinely avoiding the reverse and souls of terrorists are not considered the illegal like material weapon lack sensitivity to value the terrorist labels demonizes those who are applied to the back of the government and results in dehumanization, violence, Journal. O2, discriminating application terms there, so use government to mainstream media, so the user describe the force opposed government law, obviously comes from land. I tried to explain this point out when I won't have mirrors for exists to look back and never would have this trade. And then this trade too far from the biodiversity, multiple laws for causalities, and NGA. No data most immediate from the fair the region's borders commercial, hunting of wildlife and the bushmeat, and alternate causalities to deforestation, such as food and fuel wood, saying it's just so much as force demand for food accelerate the transformation force of crop, pasture land, which result in greenhouse gas, and the nature is resilient human destruction. And 95, the environment is close to indestructible. Earth has 580 solar radiation, intense volcanoes, 300 vacillation sea levels, and collisions of asteroids, pinpricks, force magnitude. Nature is accustomed to resisting.
Get that card.
Okay. I need that last card. Okay. What is the status of your two counterclaims and the critique? The two counterclaims and the critique. What's the status?
The who is dispo.
What about the other?
Conditional.
Okay, I don't see exactly where that gets you, but okay, that's fine.
The argument
then,
is that
it's okay. I'm just gonna ask some more questions now. What is a net benefit fiction? Is so politics is a net benefit?
yeah, also.
Okay, it's internal. Yeah. And then okay, so let's get this straight. On your condition counterclaim, your argument is that rule of law is not currently the criteria,
Right.
and that you established this as the criteria of the MCA and conditions apply upon it.
Right. We will utilize rule of law conditions, which means that if your typical Millennium Development Goal
Okay.
type of conditioning doesn't apply because it's radically different in that it ensures that
Yeah,
governments
that's-
adhere to rule of law
that's fine.
as a prerequisite to solving corruption rather than the
And
other
then-
way around.
Okay, that's fine. And let's start with your Bush link. Your Bush link says that Bush has stressed that good governance should be a primary focus on reforming countries, and that leaders must be the agents of reform rather than passive recipients.
Right.
Where does it say that he just supports conditions?
That you just read the sentence.
No, but it doesn't say conditions. That
Dude.
Bush supports selectivity, not conditionality. Selectivity
No,
is
I
where
mean,
you target aid at countries
if he does
that
not
have good
support,
government.
if he does
But
not support
there are no
passive,
explicit conditions
God,
upon
okay.
aid. Well, fine. Where does 7 say conditionality?
passive acceptance. The argument of what it means by passive acceptance is it does not want countries to simply docilely accept that type of aid.
Yeah.
Rather,
Okay. So it
wants-
doesn't say conditionality.
It's,
Okay.
Are you kidding me? That's
No,
what
I mean
it
we're
means
going to
by
read evidence on the
passive
distinction in the
acceptance.
2AC, and you clearly don't understand it.
What?
Then now, okay, let's move on to the critiques. Okay, your alternative to break with negative representations, does that mean like positive representations or what?
The argument is just that we reject the affirmative for your representations, not necessarily that.
Okay, so how do we represent the discrimination
Uh,
and marginalization of the core community then?
Well, a couple of arguments. First is that you propagate this
No,
homogeneous.
by we I mean like how does your alternative, does it just ignore the Forex?
No, the argument is just that using representations in the context of policymaking is particularly bad because it propagates this racist.
Okay, so we shouldn't use
attitude.
representations. We should
The
ignore
argument
the
is that you shouldn't. The argument isn't that you cannot use representations, but that when representations are mixed with policymaking, that's particularly bad. because
Okay.
When we grow up to
And
become
so when
policymakers,
the
we
policymakers
Our-
should ignore the Forex, that's your
Our
argument.
ODB evidence indicates that the reason why we can't articulate good policymaking towards Africa.
Yeah, and currently we're ignoring the Forex and not doing anything about it, and our
indicates
assets,
that we're
that's bad.
rejecting these sorts of representations.
Perhaps that's because of the
Like in policy circles, raise
Okay, but
new type of
okay,
discourse
that's fine.
which can overcome that status
Now,
quo.
your T vector shell. I want you to. Your evidence says that we must first isolate the disease vector and then implement government policy to regulate the disease vector and prevent disease that acts as a division.
It's Nick. Nick, come here.
Okay.
All right, ready? What? Yeah, I was asking you right before. T sub-Saharan Africa, T public health, then it's gonna be case conflict, terrorism, representation, reps pay, counterclaim, politics. Oh wait, I forgot that over there. I'll take a second.
Are you timing it?
Yeah, I am. No, they didn't hire you. If you have time, you can read this.
Stop.
Okay. That was an additional 24 seconds. So, if you want to do it.
And that kind of went before politics. Yeah. one nutrition policy does also their outcome. We need the benefits are plans below the rest of from ministers, no ground loss, and their commissioners, traffic is rejected. Counter nutrition to use for extension relative to that to your economy. It has to be somewhere sub-Saharan Africa, and conceiving a Sub-Saharan Africa, one is bad, choice, rural education, but to the terms of Scotland, it's kind of absolutely handled able to go 60 countries and after the identical files between the economies, monthly and turning screws, fixed out of Sub-Saharan Africa needs to be on single countries and not question whether Africa may the worse for that. It's hard to predict and next country generic and we don't limit generic percent international kind of supply rates of themselves impact next and Nigeria is into Sub-Saharan Africa, which means we mean that. Next is that we meet their public health evidence. Their evidence says that anything that prevents future epidemics is topical desertification direct disease sector means we meet PATA 5 desertification of the authorization of the lower sector, which is measured by converting to experience having consumer Australia, some minister Africa, our disaster, as a result of the last student from the implication of the expedition, then there should be some implication for institutional health policy and for any desertification of environmental regulation, way from that, no reverse and emergency and fair restrictions and kind of public health requires government coercion. Rossing to there's a going to introduce health factors things to have this on the Harvard to that. I'm just never as a public health service to the customer ethics for this authority and environmental regulation as a mark and there's over limits any or is there anything else?
Yeah, there's our limits.
There's over limits only after case different types of treatment or several causes stagnation, that of users disadvantage and educational legal diversity, understanding this topic, no ground loss, conflicts, etc. And so it's in the same air often only the and reads the supplement and justifies the counter only our case is topical conflict. Not going forward, we can see that there's no great power conflict between justice spillover, terrorism. There are no news. So first of all, they have terrorism can access what WD sub SUBS news 7 after it's going to see about the that's kept in transitional after where we see terrorism going to be the conduct possible going to nobody wants to know what it is after more evidence for all by that. Okay, this can be African after so much evidence and to our additional weapons. And so no terrorism after for evidence Niger has become the crucial terrorist for terrorism that's constant and news oil prefer specific. They say terror talk but an alternative means language is not non-unique certain packets that alternative is vague as shifting voting issue and then turn to Nichols independent to learn liberating essential stop terrorism Peter's words selling bummy we can find it with the American people will keep terrorism to general participants with lives connected to the Supreme Market and still listen to following the bombers with maintain results and will be brand racing for doing nothing desertification they're all cause are not about grounds or about wars because they don't actually impact plan solve these in the set they see the stats go plan solve they can see the spills over that's our modeling argument for Josky they say resiliency but not true Wilson to that people were to speak to major analysis natural behavior tropes of the next factors basically time that every more scrutiny being kind of by artificial ones reps framework you shouldn't have your reps rolled out to the outcome of passages that's thoroughly its implementation especially for education after also turn no one therapy specific to brief media representations like their impacts inevitable or when I see the analysis of the problem and firmly both and term bringing international attention to violence in which against tourists is essential move effective response anything less than implicit endorsement of the eradication at will toward movement no data overflow that's not to print that's without international community data action to the dimensional community to send that to the principle of the interest for the interest as well as supreme and so we're going to the wizard by turning to the priority of working gets so very confident as maybe will represent their recommendation towards friends as well to say this is being literally forced to that to wearing conditionally that is to take the opposite so as well as to the voting issue next is condition firm to vote
perm on the K.
Oh, on the K.
Perm.
They're through the plan on non-committed parties of alternative condition. Perm do both and perm change the MCA criteria for the kind of plan do the plan no matter what and perm do the kind of plan that doesn't violate result or should and the kind of plans the status quo the rule of law criteria already exists here the 16 prior term MCA homepage takes that performance of policy can will be used rule of law implications kind of follow the other condition that already exists and based on strategy carpentry has included no applies and means that benefits are solved by the status quo and non-unique aid now takes up that benefit and perm do both and links to politics to one of their links is about aid and it doesn't solve the case that benefit or the case that conditionality makes a progressive effect to actually make it less likely that government reforms are carried out. 106 that I usually do some of the reforms are institution part that it is really effective only consider very second privatized conditional under my time some government and that is for the reform that I do the country way after the original program was okay and just to from their way to show this grants like control again the and from these two conditional plan the also do plan and condition kind of was already today the unfair rights of handlers affects our Christian benefits is still entirely when they see kill fairness voting issue just that's all that is so there also causing massive delays or in 6 hours to impact your time zone today also the turn or reversing could actually keep accused of avoid leadership on the war on terror. Should have said that. This is going to be responsible for secretary name to the areas that demonstrate those parties war on terror. Particularly for the American dignity to actually the promotion of the American war terrorism from the evaluation of the NCC and Gaggle Jackson's democracy credibility and more through that. Gaggle and choose the accredited reports to care for the Gaggle for the interest between the good marks and marks. I guess positive for democracy. People's minds. And just to solve relations elements, external information for today's has to happen to the policy donor and recipient. And no fiat strategy watching the resolution like kind of that to be part of the and strategies and international actor doesn't solve that terrorism because only the U.S. sufficient cloud Nigerian government can implement that regulations and that's crucially a Tory example for war and terror policy that doesn't solve desertification usually management policies or model as policy causes extinction because the problem solars college or never live deal with on a large scale so no follow on WHO recommends against massa or yeah.
No ball on their part doesn't
No ball on their part is U.S. action also justifies the U.S. winning our arguments. Is there anything else? Okay, politics. Which slid on go pass out, ABC News 555, but shows one of the activities all Hobbits London for the country and single election network for the president. Weight of office also not unique, which is aggressively pushing food aid, increases status quo, and which has to that, but spending additional 700 million in education for permission to spread laws for that, with the difference versus stop motion, eventually order that, 200 million USD official emergency aid, and food aid is unpopular, IP to 2008 officials, medical estimates to the US defense fund of Congress secretary are needed to ensure the $1 are really important because the family development country because of the hardest of whether it's good for teaching that. To fish also turn plans popular. LA Times at 98% is going to ensure property development to self-determination reduction is worth it. The things coming for my I was to know it's going to reduce burdens, it's marked there. And also it's not a flip-flop. MC market shift away from good values to the US and international community. Always about stepping that. It's economic performance we do have space for academics to do with the international donation commission for that. Policy commission tell us that like the end policy chicken is accident based on the promise side. Borrowing from some particulars that have there. Criminal condition and for the warning based on that. Current policy borrowing government also that. Their account has a flip-flop that links that. That and US anti-desertification assistance crucial to reinvigorate for US foreign investment and trade rights trying to either. Our student officer may recommend to our companies can ask for efforts and efforts to print economic company that for African long-term global interest increasing mass essentially it is economic relieve our debt and trade us like any system like a business for us to trade that to use companies investments more than they're allowed to go to large market to use business remain for American exports impact distinction of your data product creative investment release which changes the instruments not to corporate research today like the more digital relation we know it and then the biosphere next go back to the counterclaim. Doesn't solve the case, even if it's accepted it causes massive research diversion or ground pipe donors from promises to turn the consumer my fellow stakeholders to tell or speaking of the coming back to military that can cause their objections being that it will be rolled back and more evidence it doesn't solve that action 85 that as conditions to donors on the approach to government failure it's conditional to prevent 52% almost workers and friends are major to rethink.
All right.
All right, let's talk about your add-on first. Your evidence in the ununderlined portion says that the economy add-on, it says that U.S. desertification projects ununderlined portion sponsored by multilateral funding agencies is key to renew trade. How is the plan sponsored by funding agencies?
No, I'm saying, okay, the U.S. anti-desertification policies are crucial to open up African markets so our private companies can do similar projects.
Okay, if African markets are your internal link, then why haven't recent United States policies such as trade on cobalt or oil not
it's specific to desertification.
Your impact is not, increased investment in Africa is not specific to desertification.
No, but I'm saying the one before that, our link is specific.
But your internal link to the impact. Expand. Show me where on your late 96 card, which is your only internal link to the impact,
no, I'm talking about our rights card.
Okay, why is that crucial to
increase
trade?
It says that Africa's huge and untapped market of 700 million offers tremendous trade investment.
Let's talk about terrorism. You're in this argument that terrorists have access to the WMDs. Where would they get WMDs from?
I'm not exactly sure what warrant size,
let's talk about Africa faces growing risk, ununderlined portion, of an Islamic terrorist attack. This is talking about Middle Easterners attacking Africa.
No, actually, there's Islamists in Niger. So
yeah,
I really
obviously,
know where that argument is. And you can see that our evidence from the 1AC that says terrorists are moving from Afghanistan and the Middle East to Niger, and that is the new
then why hasn't the impact happened?
Because Because our argument is they're transitioning now and they're setting up a hold in Niger, so it's only a matter of time until a terrorist
Then why
attack
is the
occurs.
hold on Niger, Katie?
What?
Why is their base on Niger fundamental to launching a terrorist attack?
Because our argument is that that's one of the main places where there's a lot of ungoverned space because it's in the Sahel desert, and so there's not a lot of regulation. So
Okay.
terrorists are moving from.
That's cool. You read this Wilson evidence from 2002 that says any species loss.
No, that's not what it says. It says that species resiliency arguments are wrong because they don't assume habitat destruction on a scale.
It says that the more species that go extinct causes more environmental stress.
It's not like
which could
one
result-
species causes the extinction.
Okay,
It's
well
like
then how many
the
species
growing
cause extinction?
trend
Because like
and the,
in the Egyptian,
habitat
that's fine.
destruction
In like
that
the
causes
Egyptian
extinction.
basin, there are like thousands of new species that die in Madagascar. There are foxes that
Okay,
die.
well,
all the
our
time.
biodiversity
When the
evidence
system
is
doesn't
specific to Niger, and that's a crucial biodiversity for the internal extinct.
Okay, you read this argument on the new counter plan that you suggest rule of law is happening now. This just indicates that, yeah, oh sorry, on the condition counter plan. The underlying portions card says the World Bank Institute suggested.
Okay, this is
that
from
rule of law.
the MCA homepage in 2008.
And it's saying that a
and it
performance
says-
indicator
no,
status. It's not saying that
It
current
says that
status quo
right now
condition.
in the MCA, they follow 16 criteria. One of them is rule of
That's a
law. It's a
performance
fact.
indicator.
I'll ask Prep, can you give that card? The condition. We're not going further. Courtney protect argument not to demar found she didn't have any more framework argument sharp tension conditionality by she weeks. Only about 3 second argument first education without putting conditionality not to someone says you vertical policy body should be tied up at time pressure force should be seen make it tilted shows the best policy option also the other who come up with a disposition of the say restrictor at work you just allow you putting our argument on condition capital we're not going for it some read recently unrestricted specific offenses also our once you have this link is a core question of the topic which means that it has specific offenses I say question for our purpose you say not the movement such that sensitive competition which means they should be able to advocate arguments this only conclusion allowing potentially upload proof that I don't think I can justify as they can with the specific offense on the policies made that deception establish case managed to the other top of water security country global nuclear war space going over to other regions time frame the EPA the CWRA is on the breakdown destroying wetland prediction their own ones he evidence indicates this model globally are once he truly Jeffrey 7 evidence indicates will spill over globally and then destroy ecosystem and causing wars between different nations by destroying the policy sea turns the case offers certification their own one sea internally evidence specific to wetlands not Niger Delta the crosses of the White Sea should be clear which means if we win our decide turns the entirety of the very idea because if CWRA collapses they cannot access the other arguments also terrestrial flow because increased instability within different nations and it causes a war conflict which is the reason why the individuals are being shifted around and are opposing US government now choosing number when they say which is linked up we'll concede this argument this is irrelevant takes out the other trailing below we'll only go for our partisanship arguments choosing number 2 they say putting the first Bush's food aid also has been passed yet in moving 2009 a budget on some list so it doesn't link to our links by Congress supposed to be spending AP 430 Bush budget companies says 750 $770 million support not recommended out of betting in 2007 because of our budget in 2000 my budget distribution fiscal year October approved student more evidence I checked I fight forward within Bush's result different parts of the Congress approved $770 million aid in the fiscal year also bipartisan debate high now except for one CCW our evidence you should prefer issue specific unique we're the only ones that evidence in the CWR or once the rural evidence he considers bipartisan cooperation now in the plan only person plan checks and more evidence national review 5% for offense the housing market within the bipartisan bill on both sides are voting controversy until the next year plan choosing calculations sales time for only fund numbers have been obviously political boards are trying to find out for the fixation and having supply legislative law of the Democratic funding routine better than 7 that coming to achieve anything is a more substantive and bipartisanship the water act now for now within the bipartisan nation within the Democrats and Republicans came together the Republican governors with the Republican attorneys and CWA is bipartisanship could fail without increases in the board corner 424 with strong bipartisan board of federal government EPA particularly water resolution committee to find out bill jurisdiction that had side to within 175 co-sponsor more evidence reading news of 416 to 175 members of co-sponsor CW or Act 21 to Senator co-sponsoring companion legislation more evidence billing except for 10 with the restoration of the Clean Water Act and said the bills within the negotiation of the government and several senators also has bipartisan support go over and report to the one congressional committee to approve a second bipartisan bill some kind of sorry is already found 161 members of the group building committee first one the LA Times evidence is referring to consultation trees not specific live and left contributions what the context of evidence also issue for our internal context. Our link is in context of Africa, which is not the MSA. They do not allow them to read new African-specific links. This is not the UAC. They have to see our African-specific links because the plan would be on public to create divisions because of GUP. About backlash over Democrats over argumentation, posting more evidence, Jews, telegraph agency 7. The Republicans in the House are voting against it. Corporations sending with the resources coming from about 10% of property bills last year. The Congress managed GP member instructing with the four relations committee and also a constant controversy over details proper through the defense of already funded political capital. This is what the Congress funding issue is going to be manipulation Congress. Read how to fund the rubber over how much will they funding what period you're having a mention president. Like that is also we can control issues specific unique speed specific evidence which cases bipartisanship high now in CWRA is only risk they destroy also this agency uniquely publicized the plan Johnson criticism like that certificate. Forwarding the appropriation bill passed the arguments such as funding purposes of aid and sufficiently probability compared to political environment ability behavior and focus major issues affecting within the workshop purpose of foreign aid is weak domestic political constituency prevailing political winds of power channel power sharp customers within the social foreign policy or the lightning Robert Chris of the next argument I'd say the Bush is on the it wouldn't be a flip-flop we'll concede this argument we're not going for other counter which means the plan would be a flip-flop we'll concede so it has evidence of foreigners already political cabinet already low down showing turning on white ski they say a group their turning cabinets first Jackson Carter's international organization solving now approved the process and using not global economy international have attributed to the concept of funding global so the economy economic recovery boosting European Japan's lagging behind prosperity IMF will solve economic collapse service and hill money with IMF say simply financial crisis IMF all also, IMF acting with the IMF proposed economic principle second one dismantling use pollution laws is not being modeled by China. Five would engage within the development strategy with the movements of the law within the country that representative transformation. You said there were a lot of messages in the 4 China's and unchecked pollution causes deaths until destroy oceans ecosystems that China daily. States environment already has barely polluted within aglo with the deterioration of ecosystem with oxygen destruction and limited capacity destroying concerning process on their just as trade becomes a trade. It's the nature of the home safety in this industry when they might don't find the explosion of assassinated workshop. It's treacherous. Well, their message is underway with the world. Give an over and green ecological crisis that has an effect within the food chain, simple and by dimension of the destruction. It's irreversible to the rest of life. And in addition, lack of pollution creates water shortages. How browning, how 90 with the Grand Line is already being lost of pollution with the water that have leaded irrigation with industrialization, water pollution, relevant irrigation concerns, agriculture results in global food price. Or so 3 within the water. China's number was environmental problem. Water shortage becomes environmental threat with global to water shortage. Company reports within the prices globally and 1.3 billion people suffer brown and the environmental deterioration, financial and economic climate, archaeological already linked to the environment, and economic climate leaking, political instability, getting the rest of 1.3 billion people already price become life-threatening, and also at least U.S. Russian war and ability 6 and pollution leading to great mobilization risk with the threat to the CCP Council to control destabilization regime martial local risk with the CCP local transfer the party transition with the ripple effect and every increase in military presence with the living the rest of the possibility of deterioration in China's alliance of a full-scale war between the two nuclear equipped nations and this goes on nuclear and also says CCP goes extinction settle 5 within the planet fitted part of the whole world of CCP the world will be finished also from the CCP versus comfortable episode within prevent extinction of its life. Now the cap on debate first international field good counter to regional what international public actor with some advocate that's a causal relationship after time two fair and limits affirm with good use keywords can get a principle for critical be limits that way fair safe to choose after what's a dependent mechanism being negative is hard also education the core question of public health is who actually also brings the argument on the team the capital solve the case better first second question what's detailed about is they create a global global guidelines to create global action for land resources. Uses resources of 163 nations globally. Suffer desertification crisis as one see. Children's by creating global modeling. Also, they can see in terms of the time will be perceived as a unilateral humanitarian policy because it causes suspicion. But the rest of the world takes out their modeling arguments only count on access because it creates global action which shows internal impact. Also means that African countries would be adopting itself, which also spillover arguments to also mobilize its U.S. national plan to agenda setting. Subsequent action might consist of your nation more, and that's what's happening right now. Reflecting the world. Social rules based on position member state. More than equitable health development and compliance is mandatory. A couple months we constitute board state. Now recently, I don't know agreement coming forward to each member. Each member takes in the final months of the health assembly related action. Except of the conventional agreement also who solves the environment hanging up within the cooperation, increasing racial partnership with the strong movement capture. Parting reduction and field with the underdeveloped and the resource arguments also need to make a communication on permutation on the topic of allowing you new arguments across application because there's also they say that our cards are not specific. Known specific to US, but that's irrelevant to substance.
Okay. First of all,
Make a follow-on argument about U.S. action.
wait, ask what?
Make a follow-on argument about U.S.
Do you make a
action.
follow-on argument about U.S. action? Like, do you make an
the
argument
planet
that the,
Well, I make the argument that globally, everybody would do,
will the U.S. do it?
we don't fiat that they will, but we read
Will they?
solvency.
Yes or no?
We read solvency that
And
they
does
probably
your evidence say the U.S. specifically?
It refers to all of the WHO nations.
Okay. All right.
As part of the new
On the
constitution,
counterclaim,
which means
one of
that
the
structurally,
impacts we
everybody
read
has
is
to do
U.S.
a
water
nine-share
pollution
ratio.
being modeled by China, and in the ununderlined part, it says that something that's already happened will continue to send constructive messages and to inform their environmental laws. So why is this not describing something that's already happening in the status
Right,
quo?
this is the process in the status quo. The CWA has not expired yet. Our evidence indicates that currently in status quo, this is being modeled now according to our 1C internal
I mean, like
evidence, which means that
2005. So if
Yeah, it's being
they've had
modeled,
time
kind
to
of.
model it.
Right, that's how we have
so
uniqueness for our impacts, because if they weren't modeling, it caused.
no, I'm saying like, okay, so it happened in 2005. They
No,
modeled
not happened.
it.
It's
How
a-
long does it take to model
It's
U.S.
like-
policies?
It's not like a one-time thing, it's a continuous way that they look at policy and they try to mimic us. In a world in which we allow wetlands destruction domestically and global pollution,
Okay,
China would also model that because they think
You're
that's
only
a cool
that.
thing to do.
Can you tell me every single impact you read in the for politics, the new ones?
We read USC award, CCP collapse, food aid. We read internal interest your case. You want me to go into
No.
that?
Well, first of all, you didn't read any cards about desertification, so you didn't.
Well, our cards are
what
in
is
context
your-
of how it destroys the environment, which was the internal interior generic
Okay.
card.
Also, let's talk about your links. So the only links you read in the block are just generic foreign agents, correct?
Foreign aid to Africa, right?
Well, I mean, some of them aren't even about Africa, but so you read nothing about desertification assistance, correct?
Right, but your
All right.
desertification evidence is specific to Africa, and the underlying part
that's
talks
fine.
about a treaty,
Also,
which is distinct from legislation.
can I see all the parts that you read on foreign aid now? Like you only
Like the
read one
answer.
argument, just like food aid bill won't pass until 2009.
Well, the argument you
But if
made-
your argument is true that Bush has to expend political capital on
Full
foreign aid,
capital.
and or that they're bipartisan, and since they're debating this, or I mean,
Actually-
since they're partisan,
actually the,
and since they're debating this in the status quo, doesn't that create a realm of partisanship?
Actually, our Lancaster card makes the key distinguishing feature. It indicates that
No, I
even
need to
though
see that card.
debate occurs. Yeah, debate
Wait,
occurs all
no.
the time, and there's always partisan feuding.
Right, but
The
that's
time in
the
which
exact same
real-
thing as our
No, but
plan
the
then.
time in which
And
real
it
partisanship
happens
occurs,
now.
according to our Lancaster card, is when the actual vote counts are being held. According to our
Wait,
Lancaster
well, I need to
card,
see that card.
which means that this is what causes
James,
the beats.
you keep like avoiding, like I need to see
I'm
which
not.
card you're talking about.
You said you had it. You do have it.
Counterplan, instability, terrorism, T.
Which T?
TSSA.
And so I'm assuming when you say counter, which counter?
Wait, sorry, will you say the word again?
The counterplan, instability, terrorism, topicality, SSA. Alright. Is anybody not ready? Does that mean?
Criminally boost global disease awareness of action state efforts failed where everyone other institution who is in position of disease spreadability to less predictable states and efforts contain a comprehensive disease knowledge boost surveillance preventing deliver pathogen use goal. Five countries could take a kind of stuff from the less key questions failed system field active deliverance and disease are the same and that leads to extinction time river 97 package government deliverance respirating one another threats is the entire world population now then now instability biggest mistake ever the concession of Africa that doesn't result in a great power war states answer zero for offense but it takes out the risk of their triple impact our argument based on internal reasons why instability is good and defending external factors no new arguments Olivia messed up allowing new arguments excuse me time because I'm potentially focusing all of my offense in this area first is deforestation set Thompson 95 African conflict prevents rainforest destruction civil wars curtail logging distract people from cutting down trees because they were involved in war card says that this is the number one cause for environmental destruction class biodiversity instability literally makes it impossible for continued deforestation to impacts first place biodiversity and their advantage because deforestation destroys biodiversity kills habitats systems keto species also outweighs it for because extinction plants are survival depends upon out of the forest because it's home to endangered species that functions crucial members of the ecosystem C deforestation causes biodiversity loss but tropical diseases resulting extinction butler hosting fully functional forests has the ability to regenerate and protect fevers increasing new growth by new microbes eliminating see. Future stewards give a break among humans and African disability prevents our oil investment drastically in this new future supplies pair. Seven security scores point of attraction and the United States the United States market leader in high crude futures leads to renewable development, solves warming its tip. As it's all rested benefit would reduce the oil use concentration view and tip our hats into high low prices the impacts of global renewables development. Whoa, farmers to price market view spark the interest in renewable development activity, alternative energies, globalized performance, and alternative energy extinction. Henderson, farmer nutrition talking was pointed that no humanity extinction involves every species except for bacteria and also in terms of case warming, collapses biodiversity and the DRC, seven global temperatures expected to disrupt ecosystem laws of species diversity species will all die off. Instability leads to state failure. Marshall as a Marshall 7 state failure comes to political applications of the Marshall or state failure appearance of political instability in this leads to U.S.-China cooperation. Garrett, foreign land has cooperating with the United States surveillance states could have a lateral reach of global benefit policy and collaboration. This is a critical point in U.S.-China relations can resolve multiple legal wars every day. Not a continued industry rate the U.S. has not been well for regional stability very large. Equally important Africa, the damage to these are likely to be paid by purchase of China use of technology due to sophistication, trouble, self-founding appearance within risk potential, nuclear potential nuclear holocaust, and terrorism. First, we're going to go over the chair talk about there was no alternative. The argument was just that the term produces violence of BC's no voting issue. Also, top gallant without way of this argument. Now, one and number two, terrorists can never acquire nuclear weapons A in order to remain under terrorist second where small groups to obtain, and nuclear weapon groups have to be large enough to fit suppliers, transport, technicians, guardians. B, terrorists do not just randomly attack and force countries and comply with their demands as force provides way terrorist groups will make them susceptible to international submission. Also, when it's three terrorists don't have nuclear weapons numbers and expertise necessary to create them are not conducive to secretive. Small groups also more evidence can. United States is multiple terrorists do not have then nuclear structures development means support the deaths and been genuine. Nuclear threat 11 reasons why no terrorists have EMDs, nuclear council, and these amounts of physical damage are necessary the waste of the dead team flash oxide, oxypower level to use now. Colleyville, do not meet our interpretation. First, the community designated by the resolution sub-Saharan Africa, not Niger. No spill over argument that it's a significant tribe plan that or even specific evidence suggesting the plan will spill over into the rest of Africa, even if that's true. That's a solid question, not a topicality question. You should look at the plan in isolation. The plan itself must say to all Africa, not specific parts best or effectually topical, which is what fairness allows to play unpredictable advantages of ground move short-term distance. They say counter-interpretation to however the topic says to, not in. This means the destination must be to. It must be in sub-Saharan Africa, not particular countries groups within. That's OED. Not the other interpretation simply aggressive. It means that we'll be hearing it legitimizes Africa, like specific cities. Also, precision is vital to determine geographic regions of land. And I said, world region expanded country and ability necessary specialists. In area studies, the sub-Saharan Africa should be treated as collectible hearing. To become a country development problems created affected. Health good our interpretation is better. The two recent things learns the negative has to prepare for your countries in combinations that will apply with no research burden. Public health crisis and impossible research burden. Also, ground. We can't get links to Djibouti or Niger. Allows you to spike up this advantage because the link is strong enough. Also, they do not counter-define sub-Saharan Africa, which means we ascertain the ground percent of the best. We're the only ones defining sub-Saharan Africa. Sub-Saharan Africa is a single entity, which means that we can see their true definition has to be relative pronoun, but has to go to the entirety of sub-Saharan Africa, which means ascertain legally no offense. Also, we're the only ones that find public health established affects the entire population. Because even if they can specify countries, they still have to be part of the entirety of sub-Saharan Africa. They still have to give public health assistance to every single person afflicted without public health issue. That the cautious evidence they say collectivizing Africa is bad. However, no link with collectivized Africa. Their evidence indicates grouping cultures is bad because it ignores diversity. We merely say that you should send aid to every single country. B, no impact to racist debates after the fair. Now, we had no intention to be racist. Safe to say picks. Number one, you only have to defend picking into your particular country. Also, picks are in the small countries affirmative. They don't agree textually, so the affirmative has good reputation. And also, if they are so egregious, you should just beat them on theory now. The debate should be about when the offensive term which means interpretation. That's the debate should win reasonably, arbitrary, justified. Judgment mentioned is which is going to make this course of debate to be about judgment between this decision about certain arguments rather than debate or argumentation between interpretation most defense quantified. The amount of cases of the topical any other interpretation not predictable such counter interpretation or case help.
Hey, before we start prep, can I have the one in C card you read them for on conflict? Just take that back.
The one in C front line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much prep do we have?
You have 540.
I just think that one card.
Which one card?
I said the card you read, the one that said like conflict.
Oh.
Did you take that back?
Yeah. So what are you doing in New Zealand? Is that where you're going?
Yeah, I'm keep parking there.
Are you going with any of your friends? What made you,
Alright, so how much did you say?
540.
Okay. Talk about so, why do you just like international there are the bar question? The bar question. Food.
Like
Food in that area.
theirs?
Yeah.
I don't know where theirs is.
You need to get across the lake.
Wait, so, hey, James, the thing that you read on, the only thing you read on food is just like that Lancaster card?
I read some cards which indicate it'll be in the 2000.
Where is that?
When you were asking me, you were holding them, I think. For 2 cards, they'll be in the 09 budget.
You looked at them.
Okay, ready for the order?
Second.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay. It'll be T, all Sub-Saharan Africa. Then it'll be terrorism advantage. Desertification. Or, sorry, the place that they made their conflict, oh, sorry, it was on conflict. Conflict. The condition counterplan. WHO, then politics.
So what's the case going in there?
It's terrorism, then conflict.
Are you going to?
No. Okay. They have conceded that their interpretation of topicality is to try because it's to win this argument is literally when a country like that does not have a public health program because they do not have a community. That's their interpretation of public health. And they conceded our interpretation that we meet this because not the community that we exist to it. And the second interpretation rejected it because contended also the one entity as driving it as America, one entity is bad for start dedication. And also they drop country make countries inevitable, which terms are back to what works because after the Carolina generics. And that too is relative. Now, the terrorism advantage. First, they've conceded our impacts are the terrorism results in extinction violence, which will end nuclear, even when there are no nuclear, to concede alternate words, which also called because of extinction of large magnitude. They've also conceded the U.S. retaliation argument that the U.S. after attack U.S. retaliation against the terrorism world. This card actually says it means outweighs their worst scenarios also in China and Russia. And this is they've conceded that the entire extent of our impact is no impact event, and then regardless of do have nukes in the conventional attack wars, it's still smart retaliation, and that's the only card and argument that they would extend with defense on it that allies her. Their argument that it is not. Their analytic argument here that they conceded our 2 internal links first. That the current U.S. policy sparks anti-Americanism amongst the Islamic populations in Africa, which gives them an incentive to attack the United States. The second, that cooperation with the nomadic groups gives us a crucial intelligence to counter any terrorist attack from any group internationally, which are both conceded link arguments that are isolated and terrorists do have nukes. First, that's due to evidence. We have evidence in the context of Niger that terrorist groups can do weapons and also that they can secure them from other failed states or black market. Now they call cost advantage first. We have conceded there are no escalation claims. The only escalation claim we made was a proxy war argument about great powers, and we've conceded there are no great power war arguments. It takes out our only claim for escalation. There was no argument for spillover into the DRC, which means it takes out their turn. There are no Niger is not a country with rainforest. It is out in the Sahel, which means it doesn't actually argue the arguments with the DRC. It takes out it's a complete take out of all their turn arguments, and then they can extend any warrant for spillover, which means that it's irrelevant if they go for now the condition count. They conceded our turn that unconditioned it's critical to reverse the perception that the U.S. is excessively donor-driven, which gives international credibility, which internally turns the impacts of their credibility arguments and multilateralism, and also as a conceded it's a soft power terrorism argument that they have not answered. Now the count one first, generalizing to their evidence, fall on their evidence. It's about generic it's not specific to the U.S. and it doesn't say that they will. It's not specific to the plan. It doesn't say that they will implement the plan afterwards. And U.S. law is false. A, WHO recommends against mass smallpox vaccinations. CDC News 2. The WHO recommends mass vaccinations. B, the U.S. supported mass vaccination months afterwards. APH 2. The CDC provides guidelines for acting in the U.S. The large vaccinations proves our argument. Now the benefit they've conceded our A now arguments with the 1AC and the 2AC. It takes out their net benefit because their link argument is to speak U.S. unilateralism on aid, which is done on multiple other health issues. That was dropped in both the speeches. No new answers to it. The fact we didn't make information doesn't matter. Their evidence indicates who was doing global health initiatives. Their link argument isn't about the who action. It's about U.S. action, which we see is not unique, which is complete take out their link. It's not specific to our app now. The politics disadvantage for first, they've extended the do it now causes partisanship conflict and access to the internal link, which is about conflict bickering. Even if they read other evidence, it's only have to vote on. We read specifically onto the food bill that there's debate now that is calling controversy, which undermines bipartisanship. And also, their internally evidence of bipartisanship assumes that the act that is being proposed it might suffer from bipartisanship because the specific example it gives is an EPA law where the bill that the environmental bill that was proposed did not have bipartisan support, but all their uniqueness evidence, all their evidence that CWRA is bipartisan and will pass now indicates that it has strong bipartisan support. It is co-sponsoring the 175 members co-sponsoring the bipartisan bill, and that means that there's no spillover for the partisan attitude, and also that there's such a broad bipartisan base. It is a complete takeout of the DA because they're only internally about partisanship. It assumes a bill that wasn't even bipartisan to begin with, and it's not applicable for this to argue. Now the turn, we have only specific evidence to plan. The plan is massively popular because spending for desertification is supported by Republicans and Democrats, and this does access their internally because it is a bipartisan bill which we can build a bipartisan coalition, and the fact that we have arguments that there is breaking down into uniqueness for the turn, and also their impact argument isn't, and after it turns their impact, all their impacts on a large scale because it draws in all the great power.
445.
The order is going to be the politics of SAT, the conditioning power plan, then the World Health Organization power plan, terrorism, and then African war. And then food. Ow. Energy drink ricocheted into my eye. Politics, what are your couple consider impact on this means you allow no true KR impact on those that I don't have any ability to predict in my 3R if you get straight line from when the arguments to the 2 should not reach the future. You should hold it on 2 to a higher side. Do not allow any impact on this with I'm looking to see first how we man you can see that. Now, water scarcity leads to global nuclear conflict, leads to global instability, terminally impacted, terminally impacted seashells. I think that's means we have 100% probability, or impacts that are being truly considered. The perception is monoglot, globally or internally, atmospheric intuition indicates that as soon as the use and changes for policy, it creates motivation in other countries and causes what? Or transmission globally, transcends on multiple levels. First, or one C internally, atmospheric specific to environmental protection. We turn the case under desertification arguments are discussed them on a global scale, which means we access to controlling virus, and they can see the atmosphere of the are which indicates the safe release of things like terrorism instability, which is what would happen to world after the water was down the limelight. We see number one. First, I'll answer the arguments on the flow, which indicates 80 sound. First, when your car was not in the 2EC, that is a new cross application of 8 now, which means it should not be allowed because it destroys block section. Also, the evidence indicates if we are giving 8 not that reason bill is passing the delineation of the food aid debate first. Our AP evidence only our evidence assumes there's something other way around our AP evidence indicates that the proposal has not passed yet. It will be in the 2009 budget, and it will be delayed later, which means it's delayed to our spending specific internal to go conceded to it. They also consider IHG evidence for something outcropping of also we control overall uniqueness of our partnership is high knowledge and national review 5 arguments, and also specific economic stimulus. Also, they can see that our act as bipartisanship now we the only ones where specific internal evidence do not buy is one of our analytics. Our evidence indicates that there would be necessary to turn out the reason why food aid has not occurred. Done that is because debating occurs all the time where bills that does not cause a giant partisanship schisms within the Congress. Article Lancaster evidence making delineation in the case of passing of bills and the vote counts themselves ultimately makes a difference. If food aid is not going to pass, they don't access our controlling. It also means that there is spillover and our bipartisan evidence in the case of the Greek is not which answers to what you are in controlling evidence such as Seattle Times evidence. There's only race in the plan jacks that also they can see multiple parts of which indicates that CWA will pass on pro evidence indicates there's bipartisan support, but it could fail without increased support about partnership issues like in also media news fire and our building evidence that specific focus on which it should be preferred also because we control issue specific unique state can see you air negative on the link debate if they have more specific link evidence or once the evidence indicates that passing successfully foreign aid legislation on popular. I'll spot them if their evidence is more specific to things like desertification. However, they can see that the evidence is talking first the concept of a treaty in the past which means it's not specific to Africa. They can see that our evidence is specific to Africa and even with this arguments will be in such a high magnitude because all they can see impact so on the scenarios on the descendant risk even a small margin of risk if the win majority of defense outweighs they consider Jews telegraph agency evidence that indicates that the GOP will backlash this cause the system. Also Crocker evidence indicates that the debate will become shifted to the details of the plan causing backlash found Lancaster evidence indicates that political wins only happen when the vote campaign is not that argument was not answered when you do not allow any new arguments he say partisanship should be arbitration occurring now that's irrelevant even when there are partisanship coalitions even to increase We are winners overall by bipartisanship now on the CWA, which means there's only a restricted another condition kind of plan. First executives are actually unconditional policies are occurring all the time, which means they don't actually specifically there our arguments we want worse it takes out the who kind of plan the benefit, not who kind of plan the benefit upon leads to international backlash, which means it's a solve globally kind of plan. They concede these are all 163 nations in the who's taking action, means all the African nations will get on board, which solves global desertification measure. They don't have a permutation, which means if we solve risk advantages where we also they concede that it solves internally terrorism because it solves their land disputes globally, which is a reason for instilling terrorism. Also, we access their terrorism internally because it perceives the U.S. falling international guidelines once you all roll out of the South. The countdown leads to Planet B. Our evidence is specific. Our Constitution evidence. They can happen in a couple of months. That answers Borden's argument because it wouldn't happen within the current time frame within political discussion. That was a conceded argument, which means that you can evaluate these arguments. They say that it's not specific U.S. for the class overall humanities. We have 3 pieces of evidence: our Taylor and NASPA, our Constitution evidence supported claim the overall trend if you don't buy risk of this argument. This magnitude is so high, which means that it's also other WHO recommendation evidence are not specific and say that they are not specific global guidelines, which is why our internally gives evidence assumes that back to politics. Sorry. They conceded disbanding U.S. foreign policy by China daily evidence indicates that Lisa died. That's what they conceded from the fact is extinction to global oxygen loss. We have the biggest control impact on the risk of the kind of solving the case means we also they conceded other trials, the bachelor spillover evidence globally, which means that we have the biggest impact on the global scale, and Rinsky evidence indicates that leads to short-term Russia-China war, which leads to global instantly mixed impact, and also leads to CCP lash with biological nuclear weapons, which Mr. Alexander Evans and also leads to global extinction. Also, they can see lack of pollution, which is global food prices, and sense the systemic impact, which risk of arguments now the terrorism. Also, now back to the compound debate. You can see the add-on to the compound.
Back to the government.
My timer.
Okay, fine.
Wait, how much?
Go up 3.5.
Okay.
Oh, no. Oh, it's, I guess it'll be politics, then the counter. We actually, I don't know where you did impact health. So I'm doing impact health first, and then I'm doing the counter. Or no, it'll still be politics. Okay, ready? Magnitudes of hurricanes arguments are irrelevant. They are not. They're not in the status quo. The plane is guaranteed to cause extinction, which means we control terminal uniqueness because terrorism was dropped in their last speech. A conceded extinction impact that they don't solve, which means try to refer after conceded impact extinction impact in the status quo, which means any magnitude or returns question is irrelevant because it should be default to the question of the link probability. And since there's a 100% question of magnitude for our link, we only have to bring the relative defense on theirs to take out the probability. First of all, we can see that the counterplan doesn't solve our terrorism effect because failure of the U.S. government specifically to increase agent action will cause continued resentment against towards population or piss off at our current approach in the region. Failure to appease them will allow terrorists to actually go unchecked because without their support, anti-terror measures will inevitably fail. That's Thomas Jensen conceding that the Sahel and specifically Niger are crucial to the war on terror, then they have nukes and that they'll use them, and that an attack on the U.S. will cause a lash out this escalates global nuclear war and extinction after a war with Islam are cards that's quote death and no one will survive in it. And it also turns to one of their impacts this time because it draws China in. It was conceded 1 war, and that isn't new that. And in terms of Chinese land management policy arguments from politics, is they can't do land management policy with their countries embedded in a war. Also, they conceded the terrorism link turn from the condition kind of plan that doing unconditional aid is crucial to revitalize U.S. support for the war on terror, which means which revitalizes soft power, which was a conceded 1 argument that this turns their WHO impacts because it makes the U.S. seem less less credible unless we give unconditional aid, which is to internal links, but one of their impacts also terrorism is always in time frame because terrorism has already taken root in 9 years, only a matter of time until our impact happens. All right, then politics. Yeah.
Follow on.
No, I'm going to kind of after this. Okay. Alright, politics. Their only internal link evidence to provide assumes that an internal EPA bill that was partisan, says that the partisan atmosphere of was needed for the what is this?
It was a partisan bill, so obviously the partisan climate mattered.
Oh, it assumes a partisan bill, so obviously the partisan climate matters. So I conceded winning our award that is different in this instance because CRWA is extremely bipartisan, which means there's no chance for any partisan to derail it. That everyone, the Democrats and Republicans, overwhelmingly agree that it's bipartisan, which means there's no risk of it derailing. Also, they've conceded our aid now evidence. First of all, it serves as 100% dissat takeout because they conceded the aid now that debate over that. Even if they have one part that might make the distinction that they read generic links that are talking about foreign aid and that the debate evokes even before the bill drains political capital. So we've exploited the fact that they read these generic links, so don't allow them to have one contrived distinction card that doesn't even make their argument take it out that they can see that there's foreign aid debate in Congress now. So even if the food bill might eventually pass later, there's still there's still partisan atmosphere created because of this food bill and the status quo. So it takes that it's 100% takeoff. It's just like the plan happening and being bipartisan and derailing the CRWA impact, which means it's 100% link takeout. Which also provides uniqueness for our term because it proves that there's partisanship in the status quo. And even if they win that bipartisan tie, it proves that it's empirically denied that aid destroys the bipartisan on their particular bill. And they consider a link term that is when he concedes in the 2-1 that's more systematic, which means you should prefer that debt certification is extremely popular, will be dissociated from things like foreign aid, and that Republicans and Democrats will overwhelmingly support it and because huge companies think it's good for investment, which means it wouldn't cause partisanship or derail the atmosphere. Kind of thing. There is no solvency deficit to the ad. Even if they can't win, then they sell better because they conceded our modeling argument that the U.S. is an independent action is modeled globally. So we only limit a risk that the WHO doesn't lead to follow on to prove that, and also to prove that they don't solve the case because the U.S. is key. That was explained in politics. First of all, they conceded our specific evidence that the WHO endorsed something that had to do with smallpox, but later on the U.S. rejected it, which proves that the U.S. even if other countries follow on, the U.S. specifically won't be able to. The only evidence that's empirical, which means you should prefer it, which means, and since the U.S. is a crucial actor to revitalize U.S.-foreign relations, the kind of plan doesn't solve any of that of the terrorism advantage because it doesn't have a follow-on for the U.S. and there's the only one that matters in that for the war on terror add-on.
And like their evidence isn't about the plan, or it's not even really specific to the U.S.
Oh yeah, and their evidence isn't about plan. It is not specific to the U.S. So you should default to our AAPHA evidence that is specific to the U.S. and think that they don't model every instance, which means also no, they don't extend an impact to any external plan. They say you can see that when our aid now takes out any external impact as the U.S. is being unilateral in the status quo. It's 100% take out any aid.
Wait, I need to turn this thingy off.